What if a modern stealth bomber suddenly appeared over Pearl Harbor in 1941? Could one plane have changed the Pacific War in a single strike? December 7, 1941. Japanese fleets at anchor, unaware that history is about to collide with the technology of the future. Suddenly, a B-2 stealth bomber glides silently above the harbor, its shadow stretching ominously across the decks of the anchored fleet. Japanese radar struggles to detect the B-2. Dashed arrows illustrate the massive stealth range versus the primitive 1941 detection systems. The B-2 releases precision bombs silently, descending with deadly accuracy toward the heart of the fleet, unseen until the last second. Massive explosions erupt as bombs hit, fire and smoke consuming the battleships, a historical moment rewritten in an instant. Secondary bombs release with deadly precision, targeting fuel depots and ammunition stores, igniting massive fires across the harbor. Chaos erupts as sailors sprint along the piers, diving into the water or scrambling for life, unable to comprehend the technology above. Radar officers stare at empty screens, their primitive instruments unable to detect the invisible menace above. Dockside warehouses catch fire, flames licking across wooden piers, as the full destructive power of modern precision bombs becomes clear. Imagine history. In reality, sailors had minimal warning, but here, the B-2's appearance creates unprecedented devastation before any counterattack can form. The stealth bomber remains undetected, hovering above, demonstrating the overwhelming advantage of modern technology against 1941 defenses. Exploding ammunition stores trigger chain reactions, turning sections of the harbor into infernos, smoke and fire blending into the morning sky. Desperate sailors leap from piers into the water, tiny stick figures amid roaring infernos and collapsing docks. Above it all, the B-2 glides silently, untouchable, a ghostly silhouette against the smoky sky, as if rewriting the laws of war. Flames leap higher, consuming warehouses and decks alike, while the harbor becomes a chaotic scene of destruction and despair. Thick black smoke now blankets the harbor, obscuring ships and piers, while the eerie silence of the stealth bomber above contrasts the chaos below. The B-2 strikes targets with surgical precision. Each bomb lands exactly on ammunition depots, piers, and fuel tanks. Thousands of sailors jump into the harbor to escape, creating tiny chaotic silhouettes amid a sea of fire and smoke. In reality, minimal warning gave sailors seconds to react, but here, advanced stealth technology guarantees devastation beyond comprehension. The B-2 hovers above, untouchable and invisible to 1941 radar, proving the overwhelming advantage of modern aerial stealth. Exploding ammunition triggers a chain reaction across multiple ships, turning entire docks into infernos of fire and smoke. Desperate sailors leap into the harbor, tiny stick figures amid towering flames and falling debris. Above it all, the B-2 floats silently, a ghostly silhouette against smoke-filled skies, untouchable and unstoppable. Flames consume warehouses and piers alike, turning Pearl Harbor into a chaotic inferno of fire and destruction. Smoke, fire, and falling debris combine into a swirling panorama of chaos. The once orderly harbor is now unrecognizable. The B-2 remains invisible to all defenses, silently circling above the harbor, a testament to modern warfare's superiority over history. Explosions cascade across the harbor, ammunition stores igniting one after another, turning docks into a labyrinth of fire and chaos. Desperate sailors cling to debris, floating in smoke-choked waters, tiny figures dwarfed by the inferno engulfing the harbor. Above the chaos, the B-2 glides silently, untouchable, its shadow stretching over the burning harbor like a ghostly hand. History as we know it was rewritten in moments. One modern bomber transformed a coordinated attack into total devastation. Dockside warehouses and fuel tanks ignite one after another, the harbor now a searing landscape of flames and destruction. The B-2 remains invisible, circling silently, demonstrating absolute aerial dominance over a technology centuries behind. Wooden piers buckle under the heat, collapsing into the harbor, sweeping sailors and debris into the fiery water. Every dock, warehouse, and battleship seems to erupt at once, a synchronized inferno beyond imagination. Some sailors survive by clinging to wreckage, tiny silhouettes in a burning sea, overwhelmed by chaos and smoke. The B-2 hovers above silently, observing the destruction it caused, a lone phantom in a sea of chaos. Pearl Harbor is unrecognizable, docks, ships, and warehouses reduced to flames and wreckage under the B-2's unstoppable presence. The harbor is now a molten landscape of fire, smoke, and destruction, as if time itself has been rewritten in an instant. The B-2 glides above silently, untouchable, casting a shadow over the devastation, its presence rewriting the rules of warfare. Smoke, fire, and destruction cover every corner of the harbor, leaving nothing untouched by the modern bomber's wrath. In this alternate reality, one modern stealth bomber changed history in minutes, highlighting the immense power of advanced technology. Above the chaos, the B-2 hovers silently, almost serene, a stark contrast to the inferno below. This scenario shows how one stealth bomber could have rewritten the Pacific War, leaving a completely different historical outcome. Among the chaos, a few sailors survive by clinging to debris, highlighting the fragile resilience of life amidst unimaginable destruction. One modern stealth bomber over Pearl Harbor shows how technology can rewrite history, leaving us to imagine what could have been. Like, share, subscribe for more mind-bending, what-if scenarios that challenge history and imagination.